my name is Katelyn Mooney. I'm a freshman here at Ball State. However, I'm originally from Fishers, Indiana. But I was born in Wichita Falls, Texas. My dad was in the military growing up, so my siblings and I moved around quite a bit. I'm the second youngest of five children. I have two older sisters, an older brother, as well as a younger brother. I moved to Fishers in about the sixth grade, which was about 2008. Um, at that point in time, it was just my younger brother and I. My older sister was in her senior year at college, and then my two older siblings had already graduated and moved on. So, the two biggest things that mean the world to my family are family and education. Moving around in the military quite a bit, we had friends in all the places we moved to, but at first we only had each other, and so my siblings and I get along quite well, which to some people is a huge shock. And then education was a huge importance because neither one of my parents ever officially graduated from college. My dad technically has an associate's degree from his time in the Air Force, and my mom had to drop out of college before she could ever graduate and get her degree. On top of that, my Nana, my grandma on my dad's side, was the first woman in our family to ever get accepted and graduate from a university. So the artifact I will be sharing with you all today is actually a photo of my brother and I at Christmas time a couple years ago, but it's not the photo that means much, it's what we're doing in the photo. With this artifact, I will be telling you all what it means to me and how it shaped me into the person that I am today. So, the photo is of a Christmas tradition. Every Christmas Eve, my family gets to open up a present each, and it's always books, which to some people is like, oh, great Christmas present, I get books, but to us it really does mean a lot. We are a family of readers, we all enjoy a good book every now and then, or if you're my mom, all the time. But it's the reading on Christmas Eve that goes back a really, really long time. So my great grandparents read to my great grandparents a story from the Bible every Christmas Eve, and it was always the same story of Jesus and his birth and Mary and Joseph and the three wise men. And then when my great grandparents got married and they had kids, they did the same thing to my grandparents. On both sides of my family, the Bible was always read to. However, when my grandparents had my parents, they decided they didn't want to just read from the Bible. They wanted to read more Christmas stories, not just the traditional one, although that was always read. So as both of my parents got older and grew up, they stopped being read to because there's just no point when you're 15 years old. You don't really need to be read to from your parents anymore. You can read to yourself. So the reading on Christmas Eve stopped for a while until my parents met and they got married and they had my siblings and I. All five of my siblings. There's four of my siblings. I'm the fifth one. So when we were younger and we had big family Christmases and the whole family got together, my grandparents would read to my siblings and I. However, as time grew on and my siblings and I got older and more consumed in our lives and having busier schedules, and my grandparents got older, and eventually my dad's mom and dad, my nan and pap, they passed away. And my dad, especially after 9/11, he was deployed quite a bit over Christmas. It just got really, really hard for us to have these big family Christmases, so it was just like my mom and my dad if he was home, and like my siblings if they could come back home, because sometimes they can't, especially now that they all have children, they can't really make it back because they all have their jobs. So, my mom and my dad would read to us when my dad was home and we couldn't make it to my grandparents for Christmas. They would read to us. And then as we got older, we read to ourselves, and we didn't need the help to be read to. But now that my older siblings all have kids, the youngest is 5 months, the reading's starting back up again, and we're all reading on Christmas Eve to each other, and it's great because my parents get to do it again to their grandchildren, and eventually I will be able to read to them too. This past year, my niece asked me to read to her, which was a big deal because I never got to read to my nieces and nephews because they just didn't want to be read to, but now they're like really into it and they love it, which is great. This is a tradition that I plan on passing down to my children, and the hopes that they will pass it down to their children and their children's children, and just on and on and on. To me, this is what brings my family together. This is our whole family thing, and it's educational. My family is a family of readers, is which is just, it's who we are, honestly. We all love to read, so Christmas Eve, we all just kind of hang out in the same room and have some hot chocolate and just read books, whether it's together or by ourselves. This has helped to shape me into the person I am, and to being a family person, having the importance of family, and knowing that I will always need my family with me no matter what situations I'm facing, as well as a just well read human being in terms of literature, which doesn't always mean a lot to people, because a lot of people they're just books, what does it matter? But I think it's important to be well read in just about every subject that you possibly can. So that has helped shape me into being the well read human that I am. Thank you.